just introduce yourselves and let council know what your recommendations are for bear awareness. We'd be very happy to hear from you.
I'm Cameron Love. I'm Casey Oberholzer.
And I'm Marston Tweed.
And we're here to bring up the awareness of bears getting into neighborhoods and getting into people's trash cans and being a threat to other people and also hurting themselves.
A little background on the project and why we're here. It's actually a zoology project. This is the first year that our zoology teacher has done.
Let me interrupt you just 1 second. So we have an audio and video recording of each of our meetings. So it seems like you're like one of those guys that likes to walk around, talk while you give your presentation. But I'm going to nail you to that podium this evening. So that way it gets picked up on our audio and video, and the folks at home will be able to see you. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, just a little background. This is actually a zoology project. We're all 3 students at Rock Canyon High School in Highlands Ranch. I do live in Kings Crossing in the neighborhood, which is why I figured it would be good to do it in Castle Pines. And so yeah, this is our first year doing any formal project, so thank you guys for letting us present. And our biggest issue was over the summer we had a few bear sightings, and so we came up with a solution and to hopefully keep bears out of our neighborhoods, and if they do get in, out of our trash.
Okay, so trash is bad for bears because it makes them sick and they come back because they're hungry and that's where they find the best food.
The trash is very bad for the bears, not only for their digestive system, but also if they find a food source in the trash can, they will keep coming back to it and become, I guess, dependent on that food source. And if that stops, they will become reliant and not have food because, oh, that trash can's gone.
And here's another picture of a bear coming into a neighborhood looking for food, because once again, once they find an area of food, they're going to keep coming back, even if it's in the neighborhoods. And here's a picture of a bear in their natural habitat where they should be instead of in the neighborhoods causing havoc.
So was that grizzly bear in Castle Pines?
No, it was not.
Thank you.
So some facts, bears scavenge trash cans for everything we throw away, and about 32% of all calls about bears are because they're getting into trash cans, and 38% are because they're in a neighborhood looking for trash cans to get food. Bears are food-driven animals, meaning they'll do whatever they can do to get food, and there's, like, since 1990, calls have increased a lot because neighborhoods are being built where the bears live.
Our solution is a cheap yet effective way of basically bear-proofing our trash cans. The way it would work, as we'll show in the demo later, is we would have 2 bolts that would go into the walls. One side would be carabiner to the chain, and then another side would be padlocked, making the trash cans movable, and thus a bear can't get into it. You might be asking yourself why Castle Pines matters. Well, over the summer, I live in Kings Crossing, as I stated, and in Kings Crossing alone, there were 3, I believe, bear sightings. 2 in my backyard, actually, and then 1 roaming around the neighborhood. And the bear was, we've seen numerous times this summer, and we feel that it should be an issue that we shouldn't have to deal with, and that our neighborhoods would be much safer without a bear running amok.
Other county solutions. Boulder County is currently testing bear-proof trash cans, but the only problem is the price. The trash cans range from about $132 to about $232, and that's a lot of money. According to the 2010 census, Castle Pines has 3,493 households. For the cheapest bear-proof can at one house would cost a whopping $461,076.
That video was a bear actually in Boulder. 7 News did a 30-second video on it. It's a bear playing with one of the bear-proof trash cans, It does not get into the trash can, but it actually destroys the trash can. Where if that happened here, they want a new trash can at $131. It's not the cheapest to replace, where ours cost about $31.
We get to watch them.
Oh, here.
The bear pretty much destroys the trash can because it's so excited and it's trying to get food and they're food driven, so yeah. So why is our solution better? In a small city like Castle Pines, there's not a ton of money to just throw around to different places. So our solution pretty much uses the same trash cans that we have now. And that saves us a lot of money right off the bat. So it's like a simple but also very effective solution.
Other than the bear-proof trash cans, we had to do a little research on what else you can do to prevent bears, or keep them out of your backyard. And I know bird feeders around here are pretty popular, and if you do have them, it's highly recommended that you make sure the birds aren't making a mess, clean up after them. Store pet food inside. I know a lot of people already do, but there are some people that store it outside for an unknown reason. And then double bag your trash cans to eliminate the odor. With the second trash can, it doesn't escape. And bears do have a good sense of smell, but it can't be too hefty bags.
So
on the side note sheet, I did a little number crunching today. Our trash can costs about $30 to make this one in particular. And with the 2010 census stating that Castle Pines has 3,493 households, for one trash can per household, it would cost about $104,790. And then thinking through, I tried to get numbers on this, but I was thinking about excluding Forest Park and neighborhoods that don't have side yards to replace them because they're already in the garage, which would then save a lot more money. And then also another money-saving way would be to use the big 50-gallon blue ones that are already given to us. Then you just have to pay for the chain and then the bolts that go in the wall.
So our conclusion is we have found a cheap yet practical solution to keep bears out of neighborhoods. We would like to see the community help us see this plan through. We believe this is a very positive change in the community.
so this is kind of our demo. We couldn't bring in one of the big, huge trash cans that we all have right now. This one kind of give you guys the gist of our idea.
So basically, chain would go along it. I believe 8 feet of chain here. So on one side of the chain, there are two bolts that are going in and they have loops, so you drill them into concrete, and then one side would be carabiner, the side that I couldn't get to, would just be carabiner around it, so it'd be locked. And then another side, the one that was very easy accessible, would be padlocked in, so it's movable, so if you do get a bear in your backyard, they can't pick it up, make a mess in your backyard, and eat your food. Yes, it is a little bit annoying to have to work the padlock every time you take out the trash or every time you move it, but we feel the annoyance is better than the bear in your backyard. Does anybody have any questions?
Councilman Will? Sure, I'm sure you have a question.
How many trash cans in Castle Pines have already been broken into by burglars?
So at the moment, that knowledge is not known. I don't know if there have been any, but it's more of a preventative measure at this point. I feel if there were bears getting into our trash cans already, it would be a little more urgent versus just preventative measurement.
I have not gotten an answer to that question. I haven't asked it until I asked you, but I have spoken to the Department of Wildlife representative in this area. They take multiple calls on bear sightings. Might be interesting to touch base with Parks and Wildlife, Department. And I'm sure that the officer who's responsible for this area has some data for you already. It might be useful to get there.
Thank you.
So I guess the question I have is, the chain device that you guys have come up with, is that primarily for use in the home if the trash can is, say, outside on the back patio or at the side of their garage? But what should people do as they come up to their trash pickup day and they're going to unclip all this and set their trash can out? What do we do then? Because there's probably a period of time.
So, I believe our trash comes in the middle to the afternoon of the day, and bears aren't very active around there. Most of the time they're seen around here either very early in the morning or when it's cooler late at night. So in the heat of the day when the trash comes, it wouldn't be a problem. And as long as you get the trash can back before the prime bear hours, yes, you would be fine for the problem.
So I guess really the important part is for residents, even if for folks who are keeping their trash cans, say, in their garage, or for folks who have implemented your system, not to take that trash can out and leave it unattended at the curb, but to make sure they take it out either in the morning or just before the trash truck comes on the day that their trash service arrives.
Exactly, and I know a lot of Castle Pines people that both members of the family, mom and dad, do work full time, and so if you took it out in the morning as you were leaving, and then if you guys, a son or daughter who comes home from school, like I'm home from school for either 3:50 or 3:15 or 1:15, depending on the day. If you have them, just tell them, hey, can you bring a trash can? As long as it's in before, I guess dusk is the prime hour when it gets cooler, it would be okay. There shouldn't be a problem.
What was the total cost for just the hardware, not the trash can itself?
Total cost of the hardware was about $6 to $7, just for the chain itself and the bolts.
And were you advocating that the city purchase those for everyone in Castle Pines?
What we forgot to mention was that we were thinking that the project could be done over time. Do a test route, say one neighborhood has funds, permit, and if it was successful and you did see a reason to implicate this, then I guess continue moving up as funds become available.
So is the metal and the chain, I mean, obviously through the video we could see that the bears are weigh a lot and have a lot of force and are very destructive. Has that been tested, or are they not as able to get through metal like they were with kind of the plastic, or do you have any information on that?
Well, that has not been tested, but if it's latched down, then they can't really be throwing it around and putting it on the side and jumping on it, so that should help a lot.
I've had first-hand experience with that can, a lot of heavy lifting, Crested Butte for several years, and my experience is, having seen firsthand, they will shred a can like that. Their claws will actually just go right through it on it.
And I think you said they were advocating to use the chain on the existing trash cans that people have at their home, right?
Yeah.
Not to buy a trash can like this.
Exactly. The big blue ones we have are a little bit sturdier, plus it's then less expensive because you already have the trash can itself.
Yeah, that's the product.
I would have brought one in, but I couldn't fit a big 50 gallon trash can in my car.
so I'm the one on council has actually addressed this cost issue. Let me make a suggestion to you guys, and we certainly appreciate you coming in and giving us the presentation this evening. But I think education in the community goes a long way towards getting a plan of action in place. And you guys have already laid the foundation for what needs to be done to ensure the safety of wildlife as well as the safety of the residents. And I think that a lot of people in Castle Pines, if they knew what it took in order to secure their trash can, would be more than willing to go out and spend $6 or $7 on some hardware at the local hardware store to secure their trash can. So rather than making that a government initiative, because we have a lot of priorities when we assess how we're going to allocate taxpayer money, what I would challenge you guys to do is to come up with a brief summary of your recommendations, perhaps a diagram of how people can implement your solution on their own and where they might be able to buy the hardware. And if you present that back to our city clerk or our city manager, Mr. Don Van Wormer, who you talked to previously, I think we'd all be happy to publish it in the next copy of our online newsletter that we send out each month. And of course, we'll give you full credit for it.
And then can we put your names and numbers on there to say that you'll be willing to do the labor for all the installation? I'm just teasing you.
And I guess one final question, Councilperson Radloff oftentimes runs through the neighborhood early in the morning with her dogs, and if she were confronted by 3 or 4 bears on the trail, what should she do?
So the biggest thing with confronting bears is make yourself big and try and use loud noises. I don't know if you have small dogs or big dogs, but that's a plus, because they have deeper barks which will scare them off. And you know, if you stand your ground and make yourself look big and talk in a slow but calming manners, authoritative manner, they should leave you alone.
Thank you. Oh, don't.
No.
Thank you very much.
Never look in the eye.
Gentlemen, thank you to Marston, Cameron, and Casey. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you coming into council this evening. And I'm very serious about writing up your recommendations. We'd love to get some information out to residents, and I think they'll be much more likely to read it and pay attention to it if it comes from you rather than from us. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.